In the calm, well-kept suburbs of a bustling African city, where modern homes stood behind secure gates and the hum of traffic blended with the distant calls of street vendors, lived Jessica and her husband, Collins. They were a respected couple, educated, successful, and admired. Jessica worked as a senior financial analyst in one of the city's leading firms, while Collins was a civil engineer whose projects shaped roads, bridges, and neighborhoods like their own. Their home reflected their hard-earned success, spacious, elegant, and filled with everything comfort could offer. Yet behind their polished doors lived a sorrow that no wealth could soften. Jessica had once been known for her radiant smile, but over the years that light had dimmed, slowly, painfully, after a series of tragedies no mother should ever endure. She had given birth 5 times, and 5 times she had lost her children. It began with her first child, a healthy baby boy whose arrival had filled their home with celebration. Jessica's aunt, who lived in a rural village, had insisted on helping. "You cannot do this alone," her aunt had said. "Let me send your cousin. She is a good girl. She will care for the child like her own." Jessica agreed without hesitation. Family was family. And so came Nalia, her cousin. Nalia arrived with a quiet demeanor and a respectful smile. She spoke softly, worked diligently, and seemed grateful for the opportunity to live in the city. "You can trust her," Jessica's aunt had assured her. "She is your blood." Jessica welcomed her with open arms. "You are not just a maid here," she said kindly. "You are part of this home." And at first, everything seemed perfect, but only weeks after the baby's birth, tragedy struck. One morning, Jessica entered the nursery to find her son lying still in his crib. No movement, no cry, no breath. The doctors could not explain it. "It happens sometimes," they said gently. "Sudden infant death. There are no clear causes." Jessica was shattered, but she tried to believe them. She had to. Time passed, and though grief lingered, life moved forward. When Jessica became pregnant again, Nalia was still in the home, still quiet, still obedient, still trusted. "You've been through this before," Jessica told herself. "This time will be different." But it wasn't. The second child died just like the first, then the third, then the fourth, then the fifth. Each time the same pattern. Healthy birth, no illness, sudden death. The doctors grew more confused with each passing case. Tests were done, specialists were consulted. Nothing explained the losses. Whispers began to spread, not just in distant villages, but even among educated circles in the city. Too many deaths, some said. Too strange, others added. Jessica refused to believe in anything beyond reason. But deep inside, something began to crack. Through it all, Nalia remained. Always present, always helpful, always watching. She was there for every child, every feeding, every nap, every moment Jessica had to step away. And because she had been there from the beginning, because she was family, no one ever questioned her. Not even once. When Jessica became pregnant for the 6th time, fear and hope battled within her. Collins insisted on every possible precaution. Security cameras were installed, pediatric specialists were arranged. Jessica took extended leave from work. Still, Nalia remained the primary helper in the home. "She has always been here," Jessica said. "She knows how to care for a baby." And so the cycle, unknown to them, stood on the edge of repeating itself once more. The baby girl was born strong. Her cry was loud, her grip firm, her presence full of life. Jessica held her tightly, whispering prayers with trembling lips. "Stay," she murmured. "Please, just stay." For weeks, nothing went wrong. The child fed well, slept peacefully, grew stronger each day. Jessica began, slowly, to breathe again. But unease lingered. Not loud, not obvious, just a quiet voice that refused to disappear. One afternoon, while at work, Jessica felt it. A sudden, overwhelming dread. Her heart began to race. Her hands trembled. Without explanation, she stood up, gathered her things, and left. She did not call ahead. She did not warn anyone. She simply drove home. When she arrived, the house was quiet. Too quiet. The front door was not fully closed. Jessica approached slowly, her breath shallow. As she reached the entrance, she noticed a narrow gap near the hinge, just enough to see inside. Something in her told her to look, so she did. Inside the nursery, Nalia stood over the crib. Her face, once so calm, was hardened, her expression twisted with something dark and long hidden. Jessica's heart pounded as she watched. Nalia reached down, not gently, not with care, but with intent. Her hands pressed firmly against the baby's head. The child stirred weakly under her touch, and in that moment, everything became clear. Jessica burst through the door. "Nalia!" The name echoed like thunder. Startled, Nalia stepped back instantly. Jessica rushed forward, lifting her baby into her arms. The child cried, loud, alive, real. Jessica held her tightly, shaking. "What were you doing?" she demanded, her voice breaking. Nalia said nothing. Jessica's eyes filled with tears, not of confusion this time, but of realization. "How many?" she whispered. Silence. "How many of my children did you kill?" Nalia's lips parted. "All of them." The word struck like a storm. Jessica staggered back. "All?" she repeated, her voice hollow. Nalia's expression did not change. "Every single one." "Why?" Jessica cried. "You are my cousin, my own blood. I trusted you from the very beginning." At that, Nalia's composure shattered. "You trusted me?" she said bitterly. "You lived in comfort while we suffered in the village. You had everything, education, wealth, opportunity, and we had nothing." Tears streamed down her face, but her voice burned with resentment. "They sent me here to serve you, to watch you live the life we could never have." Jessica shook her head, horrified. "So you killed my children?" Nalia's voice dropped to a cold whisper. "I made sure you would never be happier than us." The truth spread quickly. Authorities came. Nalia was taken away, her crimes laid bare before both law and family. Jessica's aunt wept, not only for the lives lost, but for the darkness that had grown within her own child. That night, Jessica and Colin sat beside their daughter, watching her sleep. Alive, safe. Finally. But the past could not be undone. 5 children gone, 5 lives stolen, not by fate, not by mystery, but by jealousy hidden behind the face of family.